This video is going to cover our 6.3b lesson, types of angles, angle pairs, and solving equations. So you're going to see a lot of overlap between 6.3a and 6.3b. The big difference here is that this time, instead of giving us the picture to start with, they're going to describe the picture. We need to draw it. And then once we've drawn it, it's just like what we did in the 6.3a. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first one. It says, a pair of angles are equal. So that means they're congruent. They have the same measure. Their sum is 144. Find the measure of the angles. So I know I have about 144 degrees. So I'm just going to estimate here. This is definitely not drawn to scale. And I know that this is made up of two equal angles. So I'm going to break this up into two pieces, and I know that those measures are equal. I don't know what they are, but I know they're equal. So if one of them is x, because I don't know what it is, but I know that they're the same, that means this other one also has to be x. And I know that all together, these two is 144 degrees. So if I were to set up an equation, I could say that x plus x is 144 degrees. X plus x is 144. So then combining my like terms, and then I'll multiply by the reciprocal, or you might divide by 2. And I get x equals 72. So my problem asked me, okay, what is x? So we found that out. And then it says the angle measure is. So we're looking for those missing angles. Those angle measures are both 72 degrees. All right, let's try number 2. Two adjacent angles, so that means they're right next to each other, are in the ratio of 4 to 5. So I'm kind of having flashbacks to those triangle problems we did. The sum of the angles is equal to 54 degrees. Find the angle measures. So 54 degrees, that's an acute angle. So I'm just estimating, again, not drawn to scale, so I'm not worried about that. But I am going to break it up into two angles. And I know that the ratio is into a 4 to 5 ratio. Now, that means if one is 8, the other one is 10. If one is 4, the other one is 5, and so on. So if I say that one of my angles is 4x, then the other angle is 5x. It has that 4 to 5 ratio. I also know that altogether those angles have to be 54 degrees. So that lets me see what my equation is going to be. If I take 4x plus 5x, I'm going to get 54. So 4x plus 5x equals 54. 9x is 54. I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. 9x. And there's my 9. So I get x equals 6. And I notice that got erased. So let's go back and fill that in. All right, so x equals 6. So I can fill that in here. X equals 6 degrees. And then my two missing angles. Well, to find this one, I need to multiply x by 4. So that would be 24 degrees. And for this one, I need to multiply it by 5. So 5 times 6 would give me 30 degrees. All right, let's look at the next one. Angle ABC and angle CBE are adjacent angles. And I can tell that because they both have that BC going on there. Angle ABC is 30 degrees larger than angle CBE. Their sum is 70 degrees. So again, I am looking at an acute triangle, not drawn to scale. I'm just sort of estimating here. And it's made up of two angles. One of them is ABC, and the other one is CBE. So I know my letters are in the right place. So if they give me the letters, I want to make sure I use them. So then it tells me that ABC, this one right here, is 30 degrees larger than this one. So if this is X, 30 degrees larger would be X plus 30. And it tells me that all together, it's 70 degrees. So I can already see my equation coming out here. X plus the X plus 30 will give me the 70. So there's one angle. Here's my second angle. And it's going to give me 70. Combining my like terms, 2x plus 30 equals 70. I'm going to add the opposite to both sides, or you could subtract. And we get 2x equals 40. And then we'll multiply each side by the reciprocal. So we get x equals 20. So I can fill in the 20 degrees. Then it asks me about our specific angles. So the measure, that's what the M means, measure of angle ABC. So ABC is, well, it was x plus 30, and we said x was worth 20. So 20 plus 30 would give me 50 degrees. And then the measure of angle CBE, so CBE, that's just x. So that would just be 20 degrees. All right, let's look at number 4. Angle ABC and angle CBD are supplementary angles. So let's remind ourselves what supplementary means. Or that means they add up to 180 degrees, whose ratio is 2 to 3. So kind of like what we were doing on number 2, we got to think about that ratio. Find the angle measures. So for my model, I'm going to go ahead and draw out a straight angle and break it up into 2 pieces. And I can do that because I see a BC here and a BC here. So that's telling me that these are adjacent because they have 2 sides that are, or 2 points that are the same. So I'm going to label this. Here's A, and B I know goes in the middle because it's B and B. And then C. And that means that this is CB and this last one's going to be D. Now again, they tell me that it's supplementary, so I know all together it's going to equal 180, and it's in the ratio of 2 to 3. So again, thinking back to our triangle problems from earlier in this module, I know that I can call this angle 2x and this one 3x. That's going to keep that ratio of 2 to 3, and I can double them or triple them or do whatever I want to them. So then from here, I'm going to add my 2 angles, and I know that they have to equal 180 degrees. So that gives me 5x is 180, and I'm going to multiply each side by the reciprocal. And I get x equals, and you can use a calculator here, it's fine, 36. So x is 36 degrees. Then they ask me for my specific measures of the angles. So the measure of angle ABC, so ABC, that's this guy right here, it was 2x, and I'm saying that x is 36. So I'm going to go 2 times 36 is 72 degrees. And then to find this angle right here, the measure of angle CBD, I'm going to go 3x, or 3 times 36, and that will give me 108 degrees. All right, let's flip the page. So number 8, number 5, we have one supplementary angle is 15 degrees less than the other angle. Find the measure of the 2 angles. So this time, I don't have anything about their labels or anything like that. So I'm going to start with a let statement. And I'm going to say let x equal the measure of the smaller angle. Oops. And they tell me that they're supplementary. So remember, supplementary, they add up to 180 degrees. And they don't tell me if they're adjacent or not adjacent. So I get some flexibility there. I'm going to break it up into two angles. And one angle is 15 less than twice the other. So if I say that my smaller one is x, twice that would be 2x, and then 15 less would be minus 15. So I would get 2x minus 15. And I know that those are going to add up to 180 degrees. So 2x minus 15 plus x is going to equal 180 degrees. I'm going to combine my like terms. So 3x minus 15. And then I'm going to add the opposite. So I'm going to add a positive 15 to both sides. Now, if you wanted an extra line where you change your minus 15 to plus negative 15, that's totally fine. So 3x, I'm going to add those up, gives me 195. Multiply by the reciprocal. And I get x equals 65. So I can fill in x is 65 degrees. So one of my angles is actually x, so that's going to be 65 degrees. And the other one, I have to do a little bit of work. 2 times x, so 2 times 65 is 130. And then minus 15, that gives me 115 degrees. And if you need to write that out to help you with that, it's totally fine. You can write it out. All right, number 6. Angle ABC and angle CBD are complementary. And I notice I have a BC and a BC, so they're also adjacent. I can draw them right next to each other. If the measurement of angle ABC equals 4x minus 10, and the measurement of angle CBD equals 2x minus 20, find the angle measures. So they gave me the x's already, so I don't really need a let statement there. But I do know they're complementary, so that means they're going to form a right angle, breaking up into two. And I have A, B, C. And again, I know that B is the vertex because it's in the middle. And then I have C, B, and then D. So it tells me that this angle is 4x minus 10, and this one 2x minus 20. So I'm going to combine these and set them equal to 90. That's what my equation is because they're complementary. So 4x minus 10 plus 2x minus 20 equals 90. So that gives me 6x, and then minus 10 and minus 20 is minus 30. And I'm going to add the opposite to both sides. And I get 6x is 120. And I'm going to multiply each side by the reciprocal, or again, divide by 6. And I get x equals 20. So if x is 20 degrees, I can fill that in. The measurement of angle ABC is going to be 4x, so 4 times 20 is 80, minus 10 will give me 70 degrees. And then 2x minus 20, so 2 times 20 is 40, minus 20, and that will be 20 degrees. Now, how many of you notice there's actually a typo here? It says E, it should really say D. All right, we're going to pick up on number 7 and then another extra example so that you know how to do your homework. We're going to add on a number 8 in your next video. So you can go ahead and stop this one and pop into the next one.